And I think we're all back, so we can all listen to Grace. Do you have anything you want to tell us before you play it? Like how you were using Pianimals kind of strategies to approach this, or
Um, no, I think I'll just let you guess.
okay, bravo, great, great. It's beautiful, beautiful playing.
Thank
It's
you.
very, it's very touching. I how can I say it? Um, uh, there's something very serious about this,
Mhm.
like very deeply serious, but you're not overly serious. I don't know how to say it. There's seriousness mitigated with warmth and understanding. So it's like it's very meditative and a lot of emotion in there, but not emotion, but emotion.
Mhm.
So fantastic. So, does anybody want to guess which Pianimals exercise she used to prepare this? Well, anyway, I'll venture a guess. Elegant Lioness and Floating Flamingo, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's even in
especially
the
in
same
the
key.
yeah.
This is even in the same key, and of course, all this is just it's just the same things, but of course, you can't be doing this with your arms.
Mhm.
But you can have that feeling. So internally, yeah, the whole thing. These Pianimals exercises, they give you something external. It's this external movement, and now they create those external movements create an internal state, and so I can be in the same internal state. That means all my muscles are organized to the same degree of tonus, the same degree of activity, as they would be if I was doing the big movement. And now it's just internalized. Yeah. So I felt that you were doing that very, very well. Yeah. And I felt it was excellent. It was very moving, and I felt you could even take it farther in the same direction.
Mhm.
For
Okay.
instance, so for especially between here and here, and here. Yeah. Sometimes I felt you moved a lot here, and then between here and here somehow. Did you feel I was moving? But watch, look, watch. I'm moving, but there was still something segmented, some little tiny somewhere. And if I want move, and if I don't want to segment it at all, then I have to do this also from Pianimals, which is the Tai Chi empty step, the standing leg and wiggling the key without falling onto it. Yeah, so that means over moving through the sigh. So actually making an overt, visible arm movement, which is the visible arm movement shapes the invisible. So this is the visible manifestation of a sigh. Nobody can see a sigh, but we hear the sigh and we feel the sigh. And if your arm didn't do an over move, then there's probably still more available to you in terms of shaping. And so you see, I'm actually doing more than I think is necessary because I want to explore the outer regions of what's possible. I want to think outside the box. So could you try the right hand and show me a little bit? Ah, yeah, you see?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic. You,
Okay.
the one you did before was excellent. But this, look, if it's segmented, even 1% is still segmented. But now you went over that hurdle. It was not segmented at all. There was no block. There was no interruption. None. So when you get rid of that last 1%, it transforms. It goes to another mode of expression, and all that subtle wisdom which you're giving to us, it will move us even further. Now, try that again. I love this. It's such a fine difference, and yet it reveals such rich possibilities. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bravo.
Okay.
And the ear hears. And it's taught classically as a slight diminuendo. So it's taught that this has a certain sound. Now that sound is diminishing. So for no attack to happen, the second note has to be a little softer. But of course, then you can't continually get softer. So what this does, it provides us another way of joining notes without having to worry constantly about diminuendo. We just worry about moving, and there's no striking of the note. And that's what gives you your line. You are doing that beautifully now. Now, would you please take your right hand, put it under your left? No, yeah, that's right. And now, and it's the same thing as, but now we're going to do 5. That's right. So you see that you were doing very well because you practiced this floating flamingo or elegant alliance or whatever. But now it's better because the way you practiced got rid of 95% of the segmentation. It got rid of 95% of this. Yeah? But that last 5%, so there's no segmentation when what my fingers are doing has no bearing on the arm. Like if my fingers weren't doing doodly squat, my arm would be doing this. And my arm would be doing this. And now the fingers are doing doodly squat. The arm continues to do exactly this. Exactly. And that's why you put your other hand here to verify and to help. Because, yeah, you see? It's so weird. You put your other hand there, it always gets better. It was great, but it got better. Yeah. Why did you stop? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, this is fantastic. I was having a little fun sort of conducting. Phil used to love doing this. He would yeah. So when you watch the recording, you'll see I was just riffing on what you were doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
I'll,
wasn't trying to conduct you.
yeah.
I was feeling what you were doing and doing a little dance, which sort of went along with the way you were shaping the invisible,
Okay.
which is really what you were doing now.
Mhm.
This is fantastic. I love this. This is and actually I would like to leave you with that. It's a very short lesson, but I think it's an impression which I would love to just leave you with that and and do you have any other questions? And more importantly, no, not more importantly, but also, does anybody else have a question or a comment about what we just heard? Grace she played beautifully, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's otherworldly when you get that last 2%. And then you're following this thread, and you were really, the second time it was, and you don't even know where it's going to take you, but you're following it. And you're at one with it because you never interrupted your movement at all. It just kept going somewhere. You can't move your arm up forever. You
Right.
can't move your arm down forever, but somehow it kept finding a way to move forward. And there, the expressive heart of the music was in this living thread.
Well, I really appreciate that because earlier, yesterday, someone commented that the first section needed more shaping. But the way I interpret this piece, the first section is very calm and tranquil, and then the second half, there's more harmonic motion, more movement outside of the register and everything.
Absolutely.
So your comment of keeping the arm in motion and going a little farther was very helpful in giving it shape without really getting loud and soft. So that was
Yes.
very helpful.
Yeah, it's a language thing. She said that if she's onto something, she says, it needs more shaping, but she doesn't mean it needs more shaping. She wants there to be this living thread happening,
Mhm.
which is maybe there's more shape, but it's so subtle. It's so subtle that we can't see it.
Uh-huh.
We can see a normal crescendo diminuendo, and
Mhm.
that's the whole fucking problem with it. Excuse my language. It's a technical term.
Yeah.
Like we don't we don't want that damn crescendo diminuendo. We want this subtle thing
Mhm.
which touches the emotion somewhere else. It's so much better. But that's our language thing. We
Mhm.
have our normal way of thinking. We think, oh yeah, it needs to be more shaping. It means it's kind of dead. But you want to bring it to life. But yours was already excellent. So to make that little change
Mhm.
to make it something extraordinary, it's just the tiniest little adjustment, which we managed by
Mhm.
good luck, good graces to achieve. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to say about that? Could you hear the change in her sound and the way Chopin was expressing himself?
I had a question.
Yes, David.
Yeah, I definitely did hear a difference. So congratulations. That was really quite something, quite a
Oh,
transformation. I was wondering, I had two questions. I was wondering, first of all, were you trying to keep the same flow in both hands or have them have an independent life? I felt like I saw your right elbow moving more than the left. And I guess I was wondering about tempo, like how you'd feel, I don't know, how you decide on the tempo relative to your body. Like, how do you let your body decide on the tempo? I don't know. I had a question about the tempo and speeding it up or slowing it down slightly and the effect of that. Those are the curiosities I had.
yeah. Wonderful questions. Grace.
Oh, well, um, the tempo I was trying to find, excuse me, trying to find a tempo that would allow the right hand to continue singing. And my book is marked in a la breve, and so often people use a very slow tempo. So I was aiming for an a la breve that gave me some flow, but still allowed me to um, just subtly slow down some of those notes. I'm not sure that's the best way to describe it, but the movement in the arms, very different. The pacing of the shaping was different, and I found that the left hand, I like this breathing with the hand, but I found it a little hard to remain focused on it while I was trying to shape the other hand because the right hand was a horizontal shape, the left hand was a vertical shape. So, yeah, I'll work with that. Um, but when it did work at the beginning, I could feel that it was very productive.
Yeah.
I'll have to work to keep it going throughout the whole piece.
Yeah, thank you, David, for these really great questions and very apposite questions. And the way you described it as the left hand is vertical and the right hand is that's wonderful. But of course, that's a physical reflection of the nature of the music. I mean, those choreographies need to be different because those musics are different. That's one part of the orchestra, and this is the other part of the orchestra. They're not
Mhm.
doing the same thing. They're together, but if you saw a whole orchestra playing and the brass are doing one thing and the violins are doing it, they're not doing the same thing, but they're together. So this, mastering that is mastering the music, because then you're free to simultaneously follow this contour and that contour, and that's how he's weaving those two seemingly independent entities together alchemically. Hmm? There should be a word for alchemy that is based in sound rather than materials. Anyway, and so yeah, and then for the largo, I love the way you express it. Like you're trying to give it space to move forward because it's a largo, but it's an alla breva. And I'm wondering, does the alla breva actually affect tempo, or is it just a sense of it's two in a bar, not four in a bar? Like if I do, for instance, like this. That's still alla breva. Did you feel it?
Well, you could do that, but a lot of students maybe would find it harder to do. And so often I hear students play this piece, um, a largo quarter note,
Yeah.
and I'm asleep before they even get to the second section.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you notice how I did it. I actually made it alla breva by having one in breath for the first half of the bar and one in breath for out breath for the second half of the bar. There it is. Two things happened in that bar, and that's two beats. I didn't do this, and you could actually have your students play it both ways. Do this, and then do this. Another way of getting that alla breva, no matter what tempo, is to do it very fast. Because then instantly nobody's going to do this. So instantly it's much easier to get the fact that the arm is breathing independently of the actual note attacks. And then once you've got that feeling, then you just slow it down. Yeah. So, but I think it's a rich question. I felt your tempo was relatively slow. But
oh,
you,
okay.
yeah, but I felt, but you felt, but all the musical goals, all the musical intentions that you had were possible in that tempo. So because you're making it flow so well, it didn't even feel that slow to you. I know people who play. Yeah, I know people who play like that, and they call that a largo. And then, of course, it's much easier to get the two in a bar, but the alla breva. But at your tempo, you still had alla breva because you were creating that alla breva, and we had much more time to experience the shifting harmonic colors.
Mm.
So many little. So for me, it was again, it was an alchemical kind of a. You did this symbiosis of several different musical elements.
Good.
Yeah. Oral chemicy, oral alchemy, sound alchemy, oral alchemy. Oh, nice. I knew if Brian was here, I could
Yeah.
find an answer. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, those questions are really good, David.
Mhm.
So, anything else? Anybody else have comments, just impressions? Any of you new people? Any of the old people? Alejandra's, my a lion has disappeared from Alejandra's
Yeah.
picture. Who wants to go next? David or Alejandra? Thank you.